a time ago, in an era where the concept of Ninjakols did not exist. The world was torn apart by a series of violence and conflicts that seemed to have no end. People lived in terror and despair, not knowing how to escape that desperate situation. It was at that moment that a woman named Akane decided to take matters into her own hands. She was a brave and determined person who had lost her family and friends due to the violence that ravaged the world. Akane was convinced that the only way to put an end to that situation was to acquire enough power to defeat the oppressors and bring peace to the world. After long research, Akane discovered the existence of a forbidden fruit, known as the Fruit of Katra. It was said that this fruit had the power to grant the individual who ate it immense strength and ability, but at a terrible price, an obsession with power. Akane, despite her reservations and fears, decided to eat the fruit. And indeed, the power of Katra manifested in her, transforming her into an almost invincible warrior. Initially, Akane used her newfound power to fight against the oppressors and protect the innocent. But as time passed, she began to notice that the power of Katra was changing something inside her. She was becoming increasingly obsessed with power and her ability to control others. People began to fear and distrust her, and Akane realized that the power of Katra was not the solution she had hoped for. Instead, it was creating more problems than it was solving. It was then that a new figure emerged, a young man named Kaido, who believed that the true solution to bringing justice to the world was not power, but love and compassion. Kaido was convinced that the only path to peace was to understand and accept others, rather than seeking to control or defeat them. The confrontation between Akane and Kaido gave rise to a war that would last for generations. On one side, there were those who believed in power and strength as means to achieve justice. On the other, there were those who believed in love and compassion as paths to peace. In this context, a new figure emerged, a group of silent and deadly warriors, known as the Ninjakols. The Ninjakols were trained in the art of war and strategy, and had formed to protect the world from external threats. The Ninjakols divided into two factions: those who supported Akane and her power of Katra, and those who supported Kaido and his philosophy of love and compassion. The war raged on for centuries, with both factions suffering heavy losses. The Ninjakols, with their skill and cunning, played a key role in the war, using their espionage and sabotage techniques to weaken the enemy. But in the end, it was Akane and her power of Katra that emerged victorious. Kaido and his followers were defeated, and the world fell under the control of Akane and her allies. The lesson that could be drawn from that war was that power and strength can be used to achieve victory, but at a terrible price.